Welcome to another book of the Libertarian Library. A few weeks ago I've made a poll on Instagram if my followers prefer anarcho-communists or rather authoritarian right people. 58% voted for authoritarian rights, which clearly doesn't look like Ancoms are very popular amongst most anarcho-capitalists. Libertarian Unity? Or again left versus right. The opinion of ancaps towards Ancoms is very divided. The one side says they can't tolerate capitalism and want to fight it, and are therefore our enemies. The other side claims it's all good because we can peacefully coexist. The reason for those divided opinions is probably that we don't exactly know what they want. I guess no anarcho-capitalist would have a problem with a peaceful, voluntary communist commune which doesn't restrict the freedom of the others. But many of them are worried, because they believe that they would try to fight capitalists. I've done some research about what they exactly want. I've asked many of them on Instagram if anarcho-capitalists and communists are fighting for the same goal and if we could peacefully coexist. As I've expected it, the answers were quite different. There were good examples like this guy. He was very friendly and I liked his answer. He sees no problem in peacefully coexisting, as well as that guy who thinks it's all good if everything is voluntary. Unfortunately though, people like that were the minority. If all people who call themselves Ancoms were like this and tolerated the freedom of people who don't want to live under communism, there would be absolutely no problem. Actually, the majority of so-called anarcho-communists are no anarchists at all. They're basically like, no, we won't use force to get to our will. Except it doesn't work peacefully, then force is okay. Ancoms who want to forbid capitalism since voluntary interactions are exploitive in their view. And Ancoms who want to expropriate landowners. As I've asked him how he wants to do that, he said he prefers to do it without force, and more with like social pressure, which is completely fine. But as I've asked him what he's gonna do if that doesn't work, his answer was actually that he wants a government to regulate it. An anarchist who wants a government? Yeah, alright bro. In my experience, as I was interviewing several Ancoms, most of them emerged not as anarchists, but as people who actively want to fight capitalists and forbid you to live and act freely. You see, it's really hard to answer the question since it really depends on what you're defining as an Ancom. My answer? Everyone is our friend who doesn't want to enforce his ideology on others. If you want to peacefully live in your capitalistic, communist or transgender butt-sex unicorn fairy dust commune, you should be completely free to do that. But clearly not if you want to enforce your bullshit on others. So if someone calls himself an Ancom, it's not really possible to judge him by that, since the people calling themselves so are very different. In my experience, most people who call themselves Ancoms are not anarchists and therefore not our friends at all. But as you've seen, there are indeed Ancoms, who would be absolutely no problem in an anarchist society. Hope you found it interesting. See you soon. Thanks.